Hello everybody, it's me GeoSlave53 here for another running tux. It's been a while since I did my last video, but it's been just about over a year since I've done the Arch Linux Ultimate Installer script, and since then I've had a little over 3,000 views. I want to thank everybody out there that was interested in the video, specifically the Ultimate Installer script, which I think is a great tool for those people who want to install pure Arch. Instead of just doing command line step by step, you can use a batch script that does it for you step by step. I'm doing another video, an update to this script, because there has been some updates and a few changes since then. So it made sense to do an actual other video, but at the same time, I decided to do a video as well on how to install Openbox. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do two things in once. It'll be a two-parter. The first part, I'll show you how to do the install and go step by step on the updates on the Ultimate Installer script, as well install Openbox and then configure it on the second video. So it's a kind of a great time to do it at the same time instead of doing completely two different sets of videos. You could do it all in one. So let's get started. Right now, the Arch Linux Ultimate Install script right now, basically it's saying the project's no longer maintained, but as you can see right here, there has been updates to it, even about 22 days ago. So there's still people in here still doing updates and putting in commits and all that into the section in here. It's basically through the GitHub. If you go into the GitHub, it shows you how to install it. It's pretty much almost similar to it was a year ago, but they did change the naming. FIFO and Lilo. FIFO, which is the base system, and Lilo is all the other configuration, doing the desktop environment, Windows environment, Yowert, all the other apps, and so on and so on. So it gives you pretty much the description, like right here, FIFO, configure key maps, select editor, automatically configure mirror list, and so on. Same thing here with Lilo, goes through all the bases. But I'm going to show you how to install it. We're going to use VirtualBox to do that, and I like it. I think it's a better, easier way to install Arch. I've been doing this for more than a year and a half using this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right now go into VirtualBox, and we'll get started right now. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Let's go start. Get that out. This is the latest ISO, the July Arch 2015 ISO. So depending on the video I'm watching, it should be just about the same. Should be no real differences on how to do it. There is a way to do it with Git and without Git. I recommend doing it with Git. It just makes it easier. Git, for those people who don't know, is a command line function used to access the GitHub repositories of different development projects out there. That's basically what it is. When you boot into Arch itself, you have to have the Arch ISO, so you pop it in using a CD-ROM or your USB thumb drive. It'll start up and go to automatic login. In order to work, you must have root access and internet capability. So first things first, because I'm on VirtualBox, I know I'll have internet access, but type ping space dash C3, meaning how many times we're going to ping, and then a web address. I'm going to do 8.8.8, which is basically Google. And there you go. So clear, get it out. So we're going to type pacman dash capital S lowercase y space get. So we're going to update the repository info, and then we're going to install git in order for us to get the files. There we go. Hit yes. I do use GitHub. Not as much lately as I used to, but I need to go back and work on some of the other projects, the new ones that I want to come out with. So we got that installed. So next we need to fetch it. So we're going to do git space clone space git colon //github.com, and then the name HELMUTHDU /AUI. It's going to fetch it, download it, boom. So it cloned it. It took exactly the directory and files and put it in your drive, and it'll put it in the directory where you're at. So if you type it, you see that AUI right here. That's where it is. So we're going to CD into the AUI. And if you type ls again, you'll see all the files there. And we're going to do FIFO first. So to get started, we're going to type ./FIFO. And there we go. So hit enter. And there it is. This is the base. And we're going to go 1 through 13, all the way down, step by step. It's exactly the same way as how you would do it in the command line, but you could do this in less than 5 minutes. It's very fast, very easy, depending on also your processor's memory and also speed of your internet. So let's go on step by step. There hasn't been that much change. They did fix the bootloader issue that they had last year, where it was just only syslick and not grub, and a lot of people complained about it. I said, no, I like using grub over syslick. So they fixed that. That was one update. And they did fix also the partitioning scheme to make it a little bit more functional. They had issues on where it wasn't recognizing the partitions that it was at. It was like hiding it for some reason, so some of those things they fixed. So let's go over step by step. So we're going to do 1 key map 208, which is US, yes. Number 2, text editor. I like Nano. There are others may like others like Vim or Emac. I'm going to do number 2. Number 3, configure your mirrorless. This will give us the ability to find the fastest servers to the areas where you're at. We're in the United States, which is 49. Confirm, yes. So now it's going now, fetching the US mirrors for Arch Linux, and then rating it from the fastest to the slowest. So this way we have the fastest server and the best one for me where I live. There we go. So if you see that, score 0.7. If you go down further, it is, it's giganet.com. It's not usually LeaseWeb. It's always I always use LeaseWeb, but Giganet, that's the fastest right now. It doesn't matter because both of them are rated the same speed. And it uses rank mirrors. I like using Reflector. Reflector does a really good job, but rank mirrors is just as good. That's fine. So you can do Control-O to save, Control-X to exit. Number 4, partitioning scheme. LVM, logistic volume mount. We're not going to do any of those. We're going to do number 1, which is default. And I'm going to use CFDIS. Why? Because it's an end cursor partitioning that works better. I just like using it better than fdisk or parted. I don't know why some of these other people use that. So I'm going to do number 1 and then number 1 SDA. Make sure you pick the right drive. If you have two hard drives on there, like an SSD and a regular hard drive, make sure you know which one is which. Because mine is SDA is a hard drive, SDB is the SSD, and I use the SSD as the main drive, what I'm using right now. There we go. Label type GPT is the one that most people use for newer drives like SSDs and out there, but I rather recommend using DOS. DOS is better partitioning type. It's one that most people use. It's safer, trust me. I have 20 gigs that I allocated in here, 1 gig of RAM memory. So we're going to click New, and for the root that we're going to do, I'm going to give it I'll give it 10. You don't need that much. Primary, and then we're going to move over to the side and select bootable, so you can make it bootable. Go down, click New. I'm going to put 2 gigs here and do primary. Move over to type, and we're going to make this into a swap file. It hasn't made it into a swap file, it's just letting it know, hey, this is a swap file. It's just labeling the type. Go down to free space one more time, get new, the remaining amount, which is 8 gigs, primary, done. I'm going to move it all the way up. Ooh, excuse me. And move over to write, and we're going to write it to the drive. It did that, and we're going to click exit. So if you look here, this was the problem before where it would recognize the SD 1, 2, 3, but it's fixed now, so it's fine. So it's asking your question, hey, for the root, which one is your root? Number 1. Are you sure? Yes. What type of file system? Extended 4. Now it's asking for the swap. Number 1, partition. Which one? Number 1, which is SDA2. Confirm the format. Yes. And we're going to label it. It's going to automatically label all that, the bases and all that for you. Configure more. Yes. We got one more, which is number 1, which is SDA3, which is our home. And it says mounting point. We're going to do /home. Enter file system number 4, which is extended 4. And then yes. Format it, confirm, yes. Enter, done. Next, we're going to install the base system. This will do the pack strap for both base and base-dev. And basically what the base is, all the base utilities and functions for the files and capabilities of the programs that you need to do. Base-dev are development tools where you do stuff like compiling and make install and basically doing source files configurations. That's basically what that set of tools are. It's running through pretty quick. It shouldn't take that long. I have fast internet. Now it's installing it. At least we'll have the basis for installing anything else after this when we reboot. But we still have some other stuff to do to configure before we do anything else. It's just about done. There we go. Took what? A minute and a half? See how fast? Number 6, Fstab. There's the standard dev or UUID or label. I would do number 2. UUID is fine. Hit enter, goes into it just to check. Now, if you have an SSD, now I usually recommend if you go past here and both your root and your other partition except for the swap dash. What was it? I'm trying to remember. To add trim support. If you add trim support, basically what it does is that it gives you the ability to help speed your block files, but it won't wear down your SSD. You'll probably get about 30% more use out of using trim, and enabling that straight from the beginning can help you a lot, and it can help your SSD a lot. Highly recommend adding trim support, and it will do you a lot of good. I've done it on my main drive, and it's helped me out quite a lot. And adding it to your Fstab is the best way to do it. There are a few other ways you can, but if you add what is it, disk card, same thing here for the other one, disk card, and hit Control O, enter, Control X. Go. Number 7, host name. We'll do it as Arch Linux-PC. Number 8, time zone. We're in the Americas. I'm in the Chicago area, so it's number 36. Yes. Number 9, hardware clock. Number 1, UTC. If it's just Linux only, just do UTC. If you have a dual boot with Windows, do number 2. There is a way to fix it if you use UTC instead of local time if you do dual boot. Disable the auto syncing for the time in Windows. That will fix it. It took me a while to figure that one out. Alright, number 10, locally, which is the language base. Number 82, which is EN, English, US. Yes. Generate. Done. Number 11, the mkinit CPU. It's basically the RAM environment, making sure it reconfigures all the functions in the Linux kernel and all that it's working right. Number 12, bootloader. Number 1, 2. It's going to install also the OS Pro, so if you have other operating systems, it will recognize it. Number 1, automatic. I never understand why doing number 2, but there's some people who want to do that. Number 1 is more than enough to use because it does a great job of recognizing it. All right, and then number 13, password. So I'm going to put in a password. Always. Let me do a different one. There we go. There we go. It's been updated and enter. And then number D, done. Reboot. No. I'm going to do shut down. Space dash P. Capital P space no. The reason why is I want to remove the ISO. There we go. Remove. Start. And there we go. So far so good. We're done. Now we're back in here. We're going to type root as the login and then the password for the root. And we're going to do cd into the AUI. And then we're going to do now Lilo, which is the rest of the system. So we're going to do ./Lilo. And then it's going through that script, hit enter. It's going to say, hey, we can't find your network. It'll set it up for you automatically. It's wired automatic or wireless or so on and so on. We're going to do number 1. There you go. It's syncing, so I know it's working. Good. Default language English. Yes. Create new user number 1. Let's do George B. Enter, 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 enter. Password for the username. Do a different one on this one. Enter. Your bash RC, if you hit number 1, it's basically number 3. It's getting it through GitHub. And the one that this person has a really good bash RC that I like, so I always pick number 1. Text editor, number 2, Daniel. And AUR helper. You got Yower, Packer, PackUR. I like using Yower. It's the one that most people use. It's my favorite, and it works. So it's going to install it for us. It's compiling. There we go. Put in the password. Enter. Automatic mode, nope. The automatic mode meaning that you already had it set up to do it for you automatically, and it goes through it, and you don't have to do anything. Here I don't want to choose. So, number 1, basic setup. This will install all the basic stuff that is needed for any desktop environment, Windows environment that you install, or even without one. Add custom repositories, nope. Installing the bash tools. The NTP, which is for the time, the compress and uncompress tools, Avahi server, ALSA, the sound driver, Pulse Audio. Pulse Audio is good to have. A lot of people would just do ALSA and not do Pulse Audio, but I like using Pulse Audio because it does a better job of recognizing the equipment, and configuration is better than ALSA. But it needs also to work. So NTFS, FAT, and extended FAT, it's going to install that. Do you need to install SSH? On this one, no. NFS, no. SAMA, no. TLP, no. Red-Ahead, no. ZRAM, no. Video card, it already detected that it was a VirtualBox. If it was like NVIDIA, ATI, or Intel, you'll say, hey, you have this video. Do you want to install it? The graphics or the proprietary? Yeah. But because it's VirtualBox, it already knows, so it installs it right away for you. There we go. Done. Then it's going to install Xorg, which is the base of using the Windows X environment. Enter. Font configuration. There is the Infinity. In the Ubuntu, I do the default, which is the Cairo, which is more than good enough. Cups is the drivers and the programs applications for the printer supports. So I'm going to hit yes. At default it says no, but I always install it because I have a printer here. I do use it. Might as well use it. It's going to take a while. It's a good thing I have a good fast internet connection. Come on. Come on. Let's go. There we go. Cups basically is something that Apple started. It's an open source driver that is used by Mac and Unix based systems. So Linux uses it, BSD uses it. It's a standard that's mainly used. There's a new one, open source printer development currently right now to replace cups because it looks like Apple's doesn't want to support it anymore, which I don't understand why. All right, hit enter. Any additional firmware, so if you have Bluetooth or other wireless or scanners, sometimes I do, like for also firmware. 10 for FireWire, I do have that, and number 12, the driver. So I'm going to install those three right there. D for done. Get tour. No, donated. Alright, done. Now, number 2. This is where we're going to install the desktop environment or Windows Manager. Here we're going to install Openbox. So it's going to be number 13. So we're going to select that. So it's going to start installing Openbox and its other base files. Leaf pad, nitrogen, OP config, and some of the other ones, LX appearance. Enter. And these are Openbox essential apps 2 through 13. Let's go ahead and install these. Now, anytime it's AUR, always hit no to edit. Edit the install now. Enter the continue to install it. There we go. Anytime it's AUR, you have to go through this. If it's not through the main repository, it just sits there and finishes up, and that's it. Take a while. Come on. There we go. It's pretty quick anyways. Done. There we go. Done. D. Openbox themes. Icon themes and Gtk themes. 1 and also 2. No icons, we're going to do just number 3, Numix. I like Numix, it's one of my favorites. No, enter. See, it's going through Git. See that? It shouldn't take that long to do. Basically, it's installing the base Numix icon theme. It's going to install also the circle icon theme, the base theme for Numix. I think like a few other stuff too as well. There we go. No. Take that alone. Come on. There we go. So, as you see there, the circle icon, which I like, it's one of my favorites. As you can see down here, that's what I'm using. Number B, go back, go to GTK, GT2 and 3 themes. We're going to do number 1 only. It's real quick. Done. Done. Install some of the other files, configuration, fonts, GTK. Network Manager, we're going to install Network Manager. I know it sounds weird to say that. I always like Network Manager, it works the best. There we go. USB 3G modem support? No. Done. Alright. So basically, that's really it. You don't have to really install anything else. You're basically done. Now, this is up to you. They do offer you, 3 through 13 or 14 where you get install all, additional applications. I am going to install them. I'm going to pause it while I install it really quick. And then once I come back, we'll go to the next step after that. So I'll be back soon, and just hold on 1 second while I finish this up. Alright, I'm back. So I finished most of the other stuff. I went through 3 down to 10 as well as number 13. I didn't do 11, 12, or 14. There's no need. So the next step is, once you install some of the other apps, or if you didn't, go to number 15 to clean out the Orphan packages. These are packages that you're no longer going to use anymore. You just remove them and get rid of them. And you don't have to do number 16, reconfigure the system. It's fine as is. And that's it. And then hit Q to quit. Hit Enter, and then hit Q again. And then it'll say reboot. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install. Oops, I'm already in root. I'm going to install a display manager, LXDM, and clear that up. And then we're going to put it into the startup system CTL and enable space LXDM. There we go. And I'm also going to go into the configuration for it and auto login. So after not the first time I log in, the second time after that, then you'll automatically log into Openbox. So I'm going to put in the username and go down to number lock. Highlight that and change 0 to 1 so you can automatically turn on number lock. There we go. Control O, enter, Control X, exit, and let's see what else. I think there's one more. LXDE. No, let's do XFCE4-terminal. Install that too as well. Alright, so that's it. And now we get to reboot. Let's bring it up here. And there we go. We're going to go here where it says desktop, select Openbox, select the username, put in the password for the username, and voila, we got Openbox. As you can see, there's no desktop, no panel, no icons, nothing. It's just this plain dark tannish background color. The only function you have is the right click where you have a default static menu. These are applications, some of them that are not installed by default. Like like GIMP I have installed, Inkscape I have installed, Firefox I have installed, Thunder I have installed, and the XF terminal. That's it. All the other stuff are not installed. These are just placeholders. And we could change this into a dynamic menu instead of a static right here. I'll show that on the next video. And then the other one is the middle button, which you can switch your desktop. The left key does nothing. So that's it. That's plain vanilla Openbox. And I will show you folks on the next video how to configure Openbox. Make it look better than what you see here. So there you go. There's the updated version of Arch Linux Ultimate Installer script. And also we installed Openbox as well. And what we're going to do next is, on the next video, like I said, we're going to do the actual configuration of Openbox. So see you guys on the next video. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Peace out.